of the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting has been published in compliance with the Freedom of Information Act requirements. We will now review the minutes of the October 21st, 2024 meeting. Any corrections, suggestions?
No.
Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We now get to present business, new business. 106 South Hermitage Road, identified as R120-005-000, 0042-0000. The applicant is requesting a variance from section 4.53.B.3 to allow an accessory dwelling unit, an ADU, to be placed in front of the primary residence. The property is identified as I stated above. The properties are zoned T3 Suburban District. The applicant is Johann Niemand, JNH Residential Building Design, who is going to present for the city. I hate this team.
All right, good evening, members of the board. My name is Nicholas Navia, and I will be presenting the staff report for the variance request for 106 South Hermitage Road. So as already stated, the zone is T3 Suburban. The allowed height is 2.5 stories. More importantly, the accessory building height is 2 stories. Setbacks are 20 feet in the front, 10 feet side interior, 15 feet if it's on a corner alley, 15 feet if it's rear setback. And again, more importantly, the accessory building setbacks is 5 feet minimum. That's front, side, and rear. Jumping into the proposal, the applicant is proposing a carriage house to be placed in front of the primary residence, where normally carriage houses are relegated to be located either to the side or behind the primary residence. Property, as already mentioned, is in the T3 Suburban District, which is single-family residential in character, with less development than other transect-based districts within the city, such as T4 and T5. To legally construct the proposed carriage house, the applicant is requesting a variance from section 4.5.3.B.3 of the Beaufort Code to allow placement of the carriage house in front of the primary residence. Carriage house would be located towards the northwest corner of the lot in front of the primary residence. And so the specific variance states that carriage house shall be located to the rear of the primary structure or to the side as a secondary option, with the following exceptions. So exception 1 is units may be placed at the front of a lot where the front of the primary structure is not the street, and the structure has clearly been designed to take advantage of unique site amenities such as location on the water. The other exception is units may be placed in the front of the lot where the prevailing character of the neighborhood has other similarly placed units. So the variance review criteria has a couple required findings. 9.8.3 finding of fact. So the first one is if there are extraordinary and exceptional conditions pertaining to the particular piece of property. The rationale is yes. I believe that so the primary residence was built in 1978 with the original lot being subdivided in 2005 to 2006. But because of the subdivision, there is practically no space for really anything larger than, say, a small shed to be located in the rear of the lot as the ordinance would normally require. And while the ordinance does have exceptions previously stated for alternative ADU placement. It lacks consideration for lots that have primary residences located towards the rear of the lot. The ordinance assumes housing, typically more modern housing that is built towards the front of the lot, closer to the street, without much consideration for older housing stock that may have homes located towards the rear of the lot. These conditions do not generally apply to other property in the vicinity. It's also, yes, most of the lots in the neighborhood have not been previously subdivided. The 2005 to 2006 subdivision particularly restricts the ADU placement options for 106 South Hermitage Road. The conditions are not the result of the applicant's own actions. The current owner purchased the property in 2019 after subdivision of the lot in 2005 to 2006. Granting the variance would not substantially conflict with the comprehensive plan or the civic master plan. Historically referred to as carriage houses or servants' quarters, accessory dwelling units have long been a part of Beaufort's built environment. They are an ideal way to accommodate affordable housing and increase density without changing the character of the neighborhood. And that's from the civic master plan. Because of these conditions, application of this code to the particular piece of property would effectively prohibit or unreasonably restrict the utilization of the property. As previously mentioned, ADUs are an ideal way to accommodate affordable housing without changing the character of the neighborhood. And again, while the ordinance already has exceptions for alternative ADU placement, it doesn't take into account for lots that, again, have their primary residence towards the rear of the lot or not located on the water, and so fails to meet the intent of the comprehensive plan and civic master plan regarding ADUs and the role in Beaufort's built environment. The authorization of a variance will not be of substantial detriment to adjacent property of the public good, and the character of the zone will not be harmed by the granting of the variance. So there are waterfront lots across the street that do have ADUs located in the front. And while those are permitted on their location in proximity to 106, while those are permitted on account of their waterfront location, their location and proximity to 106 South Hermitage Road does give precedent that ADUs located in the front of the lot will not be of substantial detriment to adjacent property, and the character of the zone will be maintained. All right, so the next slide just shows an aerial image of the property and surrounding lots. 106 South Hermitage is highlighted in the bluish color, cyan. Next image is the zoning map. Again, showing that all the lots are T3S in the neighborhood. There's no variation as far as zoning districts go in the immediate area. Next slide is if you are on Fripp Street looking north towards the front yard of the property. You see the house to the right, driveway there to the left. And this picture is if you are on South Hermitage Road looking east towards the front of the house. Staff recommendation is approval of the variance from section 4.5.3.b.3 to allow an accessory dwelling unit to be placed in front of the primary residence on account of satisfying the findings previously referenced in section 9.8.3, found in pages 3 to 5 of the staff report as per the requirements of section 9.14.2.f of the Beaufort Code. And with that, that is my staff report.
Anyone on the board have any questions? Kevin? No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would the applicant like to make a statement? Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Johan Niemand. I don't really have much more to say. I think the principle of it is we've got a subdivided lot that doesn't have anywhere to add the ADU at the appropriate location. And then the fact that there is existing examples of ADUs on the front, on the water side, would make this an easy change that wouldn't detract from the general character of the neighborhood. So that pretty much is on our end.
Do I have any questions for the applicant? Public hearing is closed.
Anybody calling in?
Is there anyone calling in?
No virtual comment, sir.
Nope. Okay. Any discussion? Anybody want to make a motion?
I make a motion, we approve this.
There a second?
I second.
Motion's been made and seconded. No discussion. All those in favor? Aye. No opponents? Motion is approved, adopted and passed, and the variance is granted. Any more? We're done.
Thanks.